Hi guys, welcome to Becodewala. I welcome you to my new amazing project, and in this project we are going to make a weather application using React. So this is the React project that we are going to build in this tutorial, and I have shown the demo of this project in this video on my YouTube channel. If
For
you
the
want
first
to
time,
check
it
out
will ask my
the
location.
full
So
demo
I have implemented this extra
of
feature.
this project, so you can go and check out the demo of our project. So in this video I am going to start the coding part. So here is the our already created the React plus TypeScript plus Tailwind setup for our project, and how to set up React, Tailwind and plus TypeScript for your project. I have uploaded the video on my YouTube channel. You can go and check out how to set up a React plus TypeScript plus Tailwind CSS for our project. So go and watch that video. We'll find that video on my YouTube channel and set up your project, right? And then come back to this video and start building the weather app. So to build our weather app, first we'll see what are the components we are using. Like in we have a beautiful background, then we have a this component search bar and with the location, right? Here you can search any city and click on search. It will search that city and find the weather report of that city. Then we have a location, so based on your location it will show the data, and after that we can change our the unit to Fahrenheit to Celsius. And here we have a today weather, and this is the 5-day forecast data, right? So first of all we'll start with the search component with this navigator icon. So let's come to our project folder, and here in the assets we can import our icon.png. So icon.png is the weather icon that we are using here on the top, right? So let's go to the index.html. Here we'll write src, and in src we have a assets, then we have a icon.png, right? And we can write here like png, type is png, and here we can write weather app Becodewala, right? And let's see. So localhost 5174, so our current project is running on localhost 5174, right? And we have changed the icon and the title of our project, right? We can remove this react.spg, and here where we are using react.spg, why, yeah, now it's working totally fine. So I have restarted my server, and now there is no react.svg error is showing. So we can close this, and we'll create a component folder in our src folder, components. Here our all components will be there. Suppose we want to build a search bar component, search bar dot tsx. So we are using TypeScript, so we can write like tsx. So in search bar, what are the things we have? So in the search bar we have a this beautiful input box, search icon, and the this navigator icon. So we can click on this and we will get the current location. So first of all we will create our types. So we are using TypeScript, so we have to make the type for our projects. So in a search folder we have to create a new folder, types, and in this types we have to create a new file like weather.ts. Here we will define the type of our project. So first of all we will create a first interface, and in this what are the things we have to write. So first of all here we have not given the name of the interface, so we'll write coordinate. So the short form is cod, we can write, and number. So type will be number, then we can write longitude will be number. So why I am writing this, how I know I have to write this. So go to the weather app map.org, open weathermap.org. On this website we click on API. So in API we'll get all this API, but we have to use current weather data as of now. After that I will show you the forecast also. Click on API docs, and below that you will find all the details of this API. So when you scroll down you can see that the code with the latitude and the longitude. So latitude and longitude both are there like this, code in this longitude and longitude, right? And in this, after creating we have to create like, here we have a weather, we have a main description, ID and all. So we'll define the types for that also. So export interface weather, and in this we have to first write code. So here we have already defined a code interface, so we can use here also, and we can write directly here also, but we have made it separate so it will be easy to change. So after that, name string, so from where the name is coming. So here when you scroll down you can see that the name, right? So the name you want to search like the any city like Singapore, Mumbai and all. So then we have to create a main. So why I am creating main, let's go and check the documentation first. So in main we have a temperature, feels like, temperature minimum, temperature max, pressure, humidity, sea level, ground level, all this data in the main. That's why we are writing the types of our project like this. So our project in a very professional manner. So we'll write temperature is number, feels like number, temperature mean, temperature max, and here mm, we don't want pressure, so we can remove. So you can add as of your need like temperature, humidity, feels like, temperature, mean, max, right? Then after that we have to create another weather. So this will be array, you can see the recommendation coming, but also another way to create a array. So like we can define the weather with the main and the description, and it will be array. So write here square bracket. So why I am writing the weather inside main and all. So you can see that the weather inside we have a main. In this it will show the condition like it's raining or it's cloud, right, and the description of that. Then come to VS Code, and after that we have to create the wind object. So in this wind object we can define speed and degree with the type number. Then we have to create this system. So here we have a SYS. In this it will show the country, sunrise and sunset, all these things. So in this we can write sunrise number, sunset number. Then we can write the country string, right? You can see that the country is IN, means India. So all these things we have to define before building our project in the type. So you can write visibility should be number, and then we have to write alerts. So we have a alerts. Let me search alerts. So any alert like air pollution, road risks, so any weather alerts will be there. So for that we have to create our type, right? So alerts, and we will mark it as a optional. So alert will not receive alert for all the time. So when our alert will be there, then we will use this. So event, what type of alert, then description, type string, and start and end when the this alert will be end and start. So and it will be an array. So we can write like this. So after writing this, and here you can write alerts, not alert. So you can go through the documentation and check it out. So you can go to the pollution. So you can see that the weather report, right, for the pollution. Can go and scroll and check it out. Then after that alerts, we have to create the forecast. So for forecast we have another API, the forecast. So 5 day, here open weathermap.org, forecast 5 means 5-day forecast. So here also we have the API response. So we have to create a TypeScript interface like this. So export weather forecast, and here we'll write a list. So first of all we'll remove this recommendation that is coming up. After creating this we have to create the list, and in this list we have a object like dt number. Then we can write main, then temperature and feels like, and we don't want mean and max, we want this much data only. So you can customize according to your needs. So here you can see that in the list we have a array of an object dt. So how to create an array and object that I told you here, the array in the last. So here in the list you can see that in the main, go to the API. Here we'll find list is an array of an object, right? So here we have created the object, so we can make it array by using square bracket here outer the curly braces of the list. So here after writing the main, right, so we can create a weather, and this will be main. We don't want description, we can remove this, and this will be in an array. So how do we know this is an array? So you can see that it is an array of an object, so we have to create the interface array of an object. So after creating this array of an object, we have to create a wind. So how do I know that we have to create a wind? So go to the API and we see wind. Wind is an object. We have speed, degree and gust. So what are the data you want to show? We can define here, like I want to show speed only. So I can use speed. Then I want to show pop. So pop, and here we can define. So it's not a, here you can just define pop as a number here. So how do I know that? Go and scroll, we will find all these things. So let me search pop. So here you can say the pop 0.7. So you can go through this API and check out any, you can get all this data, 5-day forecast. So you can see that all the 5-day forecast will data will get like this. So must read the API. So after that, defining our, so we have to create one more thing. So for the, we have to create a type for the temperature unit. So export and the interface, sorry, type you have to, we will create a, so interface mostly we for the object creation and the extending the property from one to another, and type for the simple is like union and all. So temperature unit. So here we want to is not this imperial and all, we will see imperial and all in last, but as of now we have to create like Fahrenheit, and here we'll write Celsius. So after defining yes Celsius, spelling is correct now. So Fahrenheit, Celsius. So this is the all the TypeScript we have defined for our project. Now we have to create our search bar, right? So that component we will create now. So first of all we have to create the boilerplate RFC, and after importing we have to import user state also, state, to track the state, like whatever the user is typing in the input box, right, while searching. So we have to track that. So we are going to is import user state, and after that we have to import the icon from the Lucid React, like so. We have not installed Lucid React in our project. You can see that we have a React, TypeScript and Tailwind. So to install Lucid React, just write like npm I lucid React and press enter. So it will install Lucid React in our project. So wait for a second. And we are using Axios and Framer Motion in our project also. So we will install that packages also in our project. So let's wait for the installation. So you can see that Lucid React has been installed. Then we can install Axios for the calling of the API, and we can use Framer Motion for the this Framer Motion is used for the animation for the our website using React. So here we will install Axios and the Framer Motion. After that, come to the search bar, and here we have to import the some icon, right? So to import icon, first of all go to the browser, search Lucid React, and you search Lucid React, click on this, click on icon, and after that search for the what are the icon we want, like we want search and mpin. Search, why it's not working? Yeah, search. So you can see that the search icon, click on this, and here you can see the copy JSX, right? And this is the we want to use this icon, but suppose we imported this icon here, right? We have used this, but we have not imported, right? So to import, like search from the Lucid React, and this is the error coming because we have to use React fragments. So use this React fragment, and now you can use from. So you can see that why it's showing error. Import search from. Now it's fixed. So let's go to, and it's not showing because if you want to this search bar component, we have to import in our app.tsx, like import search bar from component search bar, and here you can use like search bar component search bar. So the correct height, search bar, why it's showing the error? So we have to define the type also here in the search bar. To motion from framer motion, then we have to define the type of this component search bar, otherwise the TypeScript will give enter. So like search bar props, and in this we can write on search, and we can pass like not query, you can write setting city, sorry. So we want to on search city will be string of type city will be type of string, and then on location request location request. So we are defining all this function void. So because we don't have any input when we click on this icon, so we are not giving any input, but here we are passing some user input, right? So that's why we are pass the city here. And after on writing this on location request, and then we have to write like is loading boolean. So when it will search, it will show the loader, right? So let's so so let's search for the Patna. So when I search, it will show a loader, right? It show a loader, right? See, for a fraction of second it will show a loader. Here we have to define the loading. So when it is searching, that time it will show the loader. So after getting data, the loader will be disappear. So after defining the type of our component, we have to use this component type like a react dot fc. So functional component, we are using functional component. So what is the type of this functional component? So search bar props, right? And we have to pass the props. So in this we are using on search, on location request, and loading. So we have to pass these three things: on search, on location request, and we have to pass is loading. All these three things we have to pass as a props here. Then currently it will show error, but because all the destructure element are unused, we have to use this. So we will use soon. So first of all, we write const query equal to set query. So and we don't want to type like string, so you can use, otherwise you can neglect also. So what is the user query? Like whenever user is type in the input box, so for that we have to track that whatever the user is typing. So for that we have defined the user state. Then we have to create a helper function handle submit. Right, what this helper function will do, this function will trigger on a event react.form event. So when user will submit, so that is a event. So first of all we will make a e.prevent default. So this is when user will submit, our website should not refresh. And here we have passed if the search, if the query trim equal to, so here you can remove this. Don't, I don't want this. So just query.trim. So because here if there is a space, right, and when I try to search, right, city not found, please try again, because we have used space. So for that we have written this. So query.trim search query.trim, and after that you can remove this. So this is the thing we want. So user will get search when there will be no space between the text like Patna. So here if I'll give it space, it will not show the data. When I remove this space and search, it will give the data, right? So this is the handle submit helper function. Then we will write a function for the location request, handle location request. So this function, what will do, it will run this handle location request and it will make the set query. So whatever the query we have searched was, we have already searched this search location Patna. So when I click on this, so our search input get empty, and based on my location the input, the result is coming, right? So the input get empty and it will run this function on location request. This is coming from here, and this is a props. So we'll use this props in our app.tsx and we'll build that folder, and that function will take our location and will show the weather data. So we will see that also. So after that we have to write our here main part. So like we are using motion div, so let's style our component motion.div. So we can see the preview also. So here import search bar from component search bar. I'll show you the response also, so don't worry. Like we can use react fragments, search bar. So why it's showing error, we have to pass the props. So in our search bar when we are using, we have passed some props, right? So to use our search bar we have to get that props, right? So let's pass on search equal to, we can write like handle search, right? And this handle search we will define here in this app.tsx. So as of now we can create a dummy const handle search, right? We can create like this, and we have to, this is the first props on search, then we have a on location request based on our location, and then we have a loading also. So on location request and handle, otherwise you can write something empty like this. As of now for the showing the search bar component while building, I am using this, right? So now it will show. So go to here and let's open up here, right? Make it like this so that it will show the, so now there is no error. So we can start writing our search bar component. So in our search bar component we can apply the in animation like initial. So we want opacity 0, y -20, then we can animate opacity 1, y 0, and transition we can write duration 0.5, then we can write class name, and we can make it like width full, and like max width md, so that it will be responsive, and mx auto, and we can write flex, then we can write gap 2, right? So after this we can create a form. So there we will write all the things. So in the form let's create an input, and type is text only, and we have a create a button for the search icon, and let's style our form component. So we can write on submit when user will submit this form, right? So handle submit function, this handle submit function that we have created, this will run. And we want to style our form as so class name, we can write flex1 and relative, so that we can style our icon of the search bar. I will show you by placing the position absolute, right? Flex and relative we have written for the form. Let me make it big little, so make it down and format the document. Now it's looking cool. Then here, after writing type text, right, we can define other things like value. What will be the value of the input? So it will be query, means user input. Then we can write on change set query e dot target dot value. So whatever the user will type, it will show, right? And then we can write placeholder search for a city, and we can write class name. So we can style like width full. Then so you can see that now the city has appeared, see the search input, but it is not looking good, right? And we can remove this app.tsx from the top, we don't want. So as of now I want to show how we are designing our search bar component. Height 10, then we can write like mm, small devices, we can write like height 12, then padding x4, then we can divide padding y2, and the rounded full. So we can write this style as your need. So I'm going to just copy and paste the style. You can get this source code freely on my GitHub, so go and check out. And when the input will be disabled when the user is searching something, so that time loading will be false, sorry, true. So when loading will be true means disabled, means user is searching some data. After the data has appeared on the UI, the loading will be false, loading will not appear. So for that we have written this. So now you can see that after writing this, the our search bar is disappear. So we can write like type button, we have a button, right? So we can write type submit, and we can define the class and the disable loading, and where we have disable on loading true, initially it will be false, and we can use our search bar. So here is the search bar, so you can see that. So the search component is not appearing, so you can define a native and can write class name bg blue, like 500. So now you can see the city search is appearing because with height full 100 vh. So you can like hide screen. So you can see that the search bar is showing now because initially, and we can write padding y8. See, the search bar is showing right before, because of the white background the our search bar was not showing on our app.tsx. So as we define our background, so it's showing right now. So after the search bar, what we have to, like we have a this icon right to get the current location. So to make that icon, we can use motion dot button right out of this form tag, because we want motion on our button, so that we can write motion dot button. And in this motion dot button we can define, like I'm just copy and paste the style. So while hover, scale will be 1.05, while tap the scale will be 0.95, and on click it will run this function handle location request that we define above. And then the class name will be this, means we have style height and the square bounded full, all this styling. This is the simple Tailwind CSS style that you can modify according to your needs and disable while data is fetching. And we want to show a icon, right? mpin icon. You can see that you can apply this mpin icon that we have imported from the Lucid React on the top, like this mpin icon that we are using here. And that height width we can define. These are the simple CSS that you must know. And let's format our document. So now it's looking great, right? You can pause the video and type the code. I'm just showing you the whole code, and you will get this whole code free of cost on my GitHub. So must give a star and follow on my GitHub. So we'll make the next component. What will be the next component? We have a next component, this setting to Celsius to Fahrenheit. Then we'll make this card for the today weather and the forecast. So now we will build the setting part of the application. So we will create a component to build this setting part to change the Celsius to Fahrenheit. So let's create a new file like setting.tsx. So after creating this, we have to write the code, like we have to create the first component. So after this we have to import motion from framer motion, and then we have to import the icon named thermometer. So go to the Lucid React and import the icon, and after that we have to import our type that we have defined in our weather.ts. So the type we have defined like temperature unit. So this will come from the weather.ts. So there we have defined our type that we have seen before, right? So now we have to create interface for our setting. So we can create interface name setting props, and unit will be temperature unit. Means what is the temperature unit? So in our weather.ts we have a temperature unit below, right? Celsius and Fahrenheit, right? So we have defined temperature unit right? And after that, on unit change, we have to take that unit, that Celsius or Fahrenheit, that unit we have to take, and we have to return void. Means creating this setting props, we have to pass our props to this component. So first we will here will write like setting. We have a type like react dot fc, and the type is setting props. So we have defined the type, right? And in this we have to pass. So here it's showing error. Why it's showing error? So export type, it's correct only, right? So we have not passed here the props. So first we will pass the props unit and on unit change. So it's showing the error. Thermometer is declared but never is okay. And this temperature integer type must be imported using a type only. Import. We will see this error later, but we can write another part of the application. We have to create a motion div. So motion dot div, and in this we have to apply the motion on this div. So we can write initial, and opacity will be 0. Then we can write animate, opacity will be 1, and we have to write a class name to style this like flex. Then we can write item center and gap 2. So after applying the animation on our div, we can use the thermometer icon. Because we have a for thermometer icon, then we have a option to select. So we have to use the thermometer icon here, and after writing this we have to make a select tag to select the option. So in this we have to pass the value as a unit. So what will be the value of the select? So it will be unit. That unit is coming from the our types that we have defined, Celsius and Fahrenheit. On change, so on change we have to pass a event, right? That is e, and then in this event on unit change, what we should do? We should change a target value as a temperature unit. It will change to Celsius and Fahrenheit only, not other value. So we have to write the class name, and we can write the class name bg blue like 400. Then so these are the simple CSS. So backdrop, we can write blur md. Then we can write text white. Then similarly we can write rounded lg. Then we can define like padding from x direction 3, padding from y we can write 2, and text will be a small, and outline none, right? And after that we can write cursor pointer. So these are the simple CSS that you can use, and here we can pass the option like in this option we have a value Celsius and class name, and we pass the value. So let's see the output. So you can see that no output is appearing. So because we have to import our setting, so import setting from, and then to use this we have to make here like setting. So and we have to pass the props unit. So let's see what are the props. So we have a unit and on change unit. So here we can go and pass the unit like unit unit, and then we can pass on unit change. We can write handle unit change. So we have to define this function handle unit change here. So you can write const handle unit change, right? Later we can write the remaining function, and we have to define a use state. So with the temperature unit, right? So that our error unit has been disappear now, and we have to import our use state also. So we have imported our use state, and then also it's showing the error. So let's fix this error. The error was here. You can see that when I hover on a temperature unit is a type must be imported using a type only import. So we have to write here type, so then error will be disappear. So now you can see that this is what we have to build, but this all these things are not responsive. So when we will write our app.tsx fully, then we will see. We have to build another component down there. We have to build a today weather forecast details, right? And to build this we have to make a component, right? So let's make a component. So in this we have to write like weather card dot tsx, right? Then we have to write rfc. Then we have to import some icons, framer motion to use the motion, and we have to import the weather data and temperature unit from the types. So in the types we have a weather data, right? And what are other else? We have temperature unit that we have used in another component, right? After importing all these things, we have to create interface for our weather card, right? So interface weather card props, and in this weather card props we have to pass the data, and we have to write weather, that weather data we have imported, right? So we have to pass this, and then we have to pass the unit like temperature unit, right? And here it's showing is a type, so here we can write type and it will be fixed, right? No more error, right? And after that we have to, in this we have to make the type of the functional component. So react dot fc, and here we have to pass weather card props, and this is the type of this functional component. Then after that we have to pass the props like data that we have defined here and the unit. So after passing the props, let's build. So we have to create a helper function const get weather icon to get the weather icon, right? According to the weather reports, the icon will change, right? So let's search for another, like, so let's search for another city. So there have the same weather report. So let's search for, like, so there are also broken clouds only. So I'm searching for the sunrise, like, for another, see. So here in this city we have a this raining, moderate rain. So this is the icon has been changed now, and you can see that below for the other card we have a sun icon and all this. So for this, according to the data, the icon has changed, right? So to make this, we have to create a helper function get weather icon, right? And in this we have to pass this. Here we have to, not the main, we can pass condition. What is the condition? So here in condition, and here we have to pass as a string. So the condition will be like rain, clear, snow, right? Then we have to pass a switch. So based on the option we have to show the icon. So condition, and it will be dot to lowercase, so there will be no issue of the case sensitive things, right? And here if it is will be clear, so we can write all these things like in the lowercase rain. And suppose we got the uppercase also, we can convert the data. If in the data we got the like clouds, in the there we got the uppercase, right, or capitalized, so it will convert to the lowercase automatically with this to lowercase, that convert all alphabetic character into lowercase, right? So we have to change this option also, drizzle, thunderstorm, snow, cloud, rain, clear. And if like we have a default droplets, so now after this we can, after creating this helper function, right, we have to create another function. So in our weather data API, when you go and see the JSON response, I'll show you. Let's scroll down. Where is our JSON response? So here, so here in the sunrise and sunset, it is in a form of UTC, right? This is the sunrise at this time and the sunset will be at this time, but we have to show, like here, like we have a sunrise at 8:35 am and the 11:21 pm. So we have to convert that number to this format. So to convert that number to this format, we have to create a helper function. So like we can write const format time, and in this we can pass the timestamp as a number. And when you got the timestamp, right, we have to return. So we have to return like new date, means we have to create a new date object, and we pass that timestamp, that number we got from the API, and we have to multiply to the 1000, and we have to convert to the local time string, right? So this convert time to string by using the current or specific local, right? And after that, here we have to pass like English US, and here we have to first of all close this, and after this we have another curly braces. So let me close this, and after we have to pass in the curly braces what data we should pass. So this is the important data, like hour will be in 2 digit. So not 2 digit, here we can pass numeric. So hour will be in numeric, and here not hours, we can pass hour in numeric, and minute will be in 2 digit, right? And then we can pass hour equal hour 12, means it will be in 12 hours format, not 24 hours format. Like it will not say 16 p.m. 16 or something, not p.m., sorry, but it will not will be in the 24-hour format like trains. It will be in the 12-hour format like am and pm. Okay, so for that we have written this. This is the specific format we want. And after this helper function, we have to create another function to get the direction. So here we will find the direction is the north, right? Here the direction is the north. So how to get this direction? Here it will be done some data, right? Let's see the direction. Here we have a degree, right? The wind direction in that degree 121, but it's not showing north, south, and all these things. So we have to create a function to get in like northeast, northwest, south, or something like that. So to create, we have to create a like get wind direction. We have to pass the degree as a number, because degree is in the format of the number, right? Here the degree 121 degree, where it is here, right? So explore the API, it will be very easy and helpful to you while creating all these things. So here in this we have to create a array like direction, and here we have to pass first in a this order on north, northeast, east, southeast, south, southwest, west, northwest. And after that we have to create an index with math dot round degree divided 45 degree and divided by 8. So here written divided by 8 because we have a 8, right? 8 direction we have defined. And suppose if the index value is 1, so it will get the position of this, and it will return the degrees. So here suppose if it is north, so it will be less than 1, or like it will be on the index. So here if the index of the north, it will show the north. If the index of the northeast, it will show the northeast based on the index like 1 2 3 to 8, right? And after that we have to create another function. So another helper function like get symbol, right? Get unit symbol. So why I am writing this unit symbol? So here we have a symbol, right? Celsius, right? and here we have a this kilometer per hour for the wind, right? So how we are getting all these things, right? So for this we have to create a helper function. So temperature as a unit, right? So we don't need to pass, we can just write symbol, and in this we have to pass a empty and then unit, and in this unit triple equal to Celsius, means if it is Celsius it will show the Celsius, and if it will be Fahrenheit it will show the Fahrenheit degree. Then we have to create for the get speed unit, right? And in this, if the here if it is Celsius it will show kilometer per hour, right? And otherwise miles per hour, right? This is the, so it is in Celsius, right? So it is in kilometer per hour, and the here degree is Celsius. If it is in Fahrenheit, so it will be in the Fahrenheit here, and the wind speed in mile per hour. So this is the all this function that we have to create in the weather card. After that we have to return some JSX, so the JSX that will appear on our screen. So nothing is showing on our localhost 5174. So first of all we will import here, and what are the props data and unique props we had passed, right? So we have to import and pass all these things. So in our app.tsx I'm just showing you the live demo how our application is working. So later on we will fix our all the app.tsx, so don't worry about that. From the weather card components, and after this we have to use, right? So I'll show you the weather card, and here we have to pass the data. So we can write it like empty. So now I am showing you the just the demo, and after that we will fix all this app.tsx. We'll write the real code all for this. So till now I will show you this the demo of our weathercard.tsx. So let's go and return some JSX. So in this, first of all we have to create motion div. We want our divs to be animated, so we write motion.div, and in this we have to apply some motion, right? So I'll just copy and paste it here. So here you can see that here we have created the initial, it will be opacity 0, then scale will be 0.9. After when it will animate, so let's refresh and see. So see it's animating, right? See, and duration will be 0.5 seconds. And we will define the class like background, backdrop, blur md, then rounded 3xl. So you can see that the rounded of this, we can like this card, we can make it like reserve weather card, can write div, and in this div we can divide with the weather card, and we can write class name, and padding from y we can write 8. So let show the space, and now it's looking. So here we have to show our card, right? We have to make the card like this. So as of now we don't have data, but I'll show you how our cards will look. So we'll create a div, and in this div we have to create another div and h2 tag, and we have to create a span tag. So span, out of this h2 tag we can write a span, right? And let's style first this. So class name, here we can add flex, then flex call and item center. Item center, so it will be in column direction and it will be in the center, and then we can define like flex item center and gap 2. Then for the h2 tag we can write class name and we can write text 2xl on a small text 3xl font bold, and here data dot name, we don't have the name right now, so we can write like here we will, so here we have a data dot name, the name of the place. So here as of now we are not fetching the real data. When we will build app.tsx, that time I'll replace all these things. So here you can like Patna, right? So why it's showing error? Motion.div. So span tag, here we have extra h2 tag, right? Yeah, now it's looking cool. And after that we have to show the country, right? We have a country like arrow. So to show the country we have to create a span tag. That a span tag we have created, like we can write in for the India, right? And here we can define the class name. So how the country will look like, text excel, and on the small devices we can write like text excel. Here we can write lg, not excel, lg on the small devices and excel on the greater than small devices. So we can write in your own way this city name and the country name. Now we have to build for this icon and this, how much temperature it is and the few clouds like, and here all these details we have to make. So let's style all these things. So I will make a div, and in this div I will make another div and a span tag, and I will first style our first div with the class name, and in this I will make it margin from top will be 4. On the small device I will take the margin from top will be 6. Then I will take it flex items center, right? And we can make it justify center so that it will be in center, right? Justify center, and then we can make width full so that it will look good, right? And after this let's style our another div, and before that here we have to get the weather icon, right? So we can write in a curly braces get weather icon, and in this we can pass data dot weather and the first array of that and the main. So now we have not fetched the data till now, so when we will build app.tsx, that time we will fetch our data. So that's why our app stop working at this point, so we will comment it for as of now. So when we will write app.tsx, that time I will uncomment this. So let's build another part. So I will style the this div, the margin from left will be 4, and let me format this document. And now let's style this span tag. So what are the style we can use for the span tag, like text 4xl. So this span tag will be the details of this, how much degree so 30 degrees Celsius or 40 degrees Celsius. So for that we are styling this span. So in this we will put that data, right? So here text for Excel on a small devices. I'll make text 5 Excel greater than small devices will be 5 Excel and the small devices will be 4 Excel, right? And on the large devices I'll make it text 6 Excel, so it will look good. So this is a simple style which we can use to make it our any UI better, right? So it's depend on you. And here we can write math math dot round, so we can round the temperature if it will be in the decimal. And we can write like get unit symbol. So out of this get unit symbol, so it is showing error, right? So we will comment it. So when we'll build our app.tsx, that time we will. So here also we can not write like the Patna, the name of city. We can write data.name here, data.name. And here we can write like data dot sys dot country. And we can comment it down. And after that, after styling this part, we will go for another part. So we can use a paragraph tag, and here you can see that we have a few clouds. The details means it is few clouds, so that text is appearing in this paragraph tag. Okay, and in this we will write data dot weather dot, and we will take a first array. And here dot description. So I'm writing because this type of response will come from the open weather API. So that's why I'm writing data dot first array of the zero index with the name description. So we will make it comment it out. So how to comment it? Shift Alt A. When you press Shift Alt A, it will be comment. So here make it text Excel, and then we can add a small devices text Excel and capitalize. Now what is the another part? We have another part like feels like. We have a thermometer icon, then feels like. And what it feels like 31 degrees Celsius. And humidity, we have an icon, and the how much humidity 49%. So all this detail we will make it. So for that, let's style our div. So here we will create another div, and in this div I will create one more div, and in this we will use thermometer icon. And we can style like uh, and we can remove this, no need of, let it take default color. And let's style our this parent div, and in this margin top will be 6. We can take and margin top 8 greater than small devices. And then we can make grade calls to right on the small devices, and greater than small devices I will make grid calls 3. Then we can make like gap like 3, and on a small greater than small devices we can write a different gap will be 4. and we can write like width full so that it's look good and text small, right? And after styling, let's style this div, right? So in this div we can make it flex, item center and gap too, so it will be perfectly aligned. So so there is a thermometer, you can see that, right? And after that we can create a another paragraph tag, and there we can write feels like and the temperature value, right? And it will be in the column, right? So we will write all of these things. So create a two paragraph tag. In the first paragraph tag, what we will write, feels like, and here let's style feels like. So we can style like opacity, make it like 70, and here we can write our data. So here we can write math dot round. So like above we can write data dot, not in curly braces, we can write parenthesis, data dot main dot feels like, right? And here we can write get unit symbol, and we, as of now, we will comment it out, otherwise it will give error because we don't have data as of now. So we can make it class name font semi bold. Okay, so let's design another part, right? So in another part, what are the things we have? Humidity, wind, direction, right? So similarly, just however, you can see that every six, the six, total six item we have here, right? Everything is in the same style, just the icon has changed, the text has changed, and the here the value has changed. So we can use the similar style, right? So design for the wind also. So similarly we can, let me, so we can design for the wind also. Here we will comment it out, the speed unit, and now we can see that the wind icon and this the text wind. Later we can fix all this data, and after that we can create for the compass. So here you can see that the compass we have the direction. So I'll write all of these things. So now let's redesign our app.tsx from the scratch. So I'll remove all of these things, and I'll write our boilerplate code, and then I'll import everything that we need in our app.ts like framer motion, and import Axios. So we need Axios for our application, right? So we can import Axios from Axios, and then we can import like use state and use effect. Then we can import our search bar, import search bar from the component search bar, and then we have a weather card component. So we can import our weather card component, and we can import our, so we have not written for the forecast. So forecast.tsx. So here we will create a boilerplate. So forecast data is the this 5-day forecast data, right? So for that, and let it format the document. So here, after importing all these things, we can import like types. So I will just import everything. So settings, that the setting component, then we have a weather data, forecast and temperature in it, all these types, and then we have a weather card and search bar, right? So now let's design our app.tsx with all the remaining functionality. So const API URL. So here we can write open weather map data 2.5. So here we will not define here weather. So because we have to fetch two APIs. So one for the forecast, one for the today data. So I will show you open weather map.org. Go to this website and current data API docs. So for the current data we have a here after 2.5 we have a weather, but when we forecast data it will be the text forecast instead of weather. For that API call, so for that we have defined up to 2.5. So this is the common URL, and we can import our API key also. So here I will import our API key const API key, and here we can write import meta.nb with open weather API key. So go to your file and we have to create in our root directory. So I'll close all these things, and the in root directory we have create .env file, and in this .env file we have to write whatever the name we have written. Here we have a API key with the name with open weather API key. So start with the naming convention with API key, and here we have to copy and paste your API key. So I'll go and copy and paste my weather API key. So here I will paste my open weather API key. So don't copy my weather API key. Go and create your own weather map API key and use it. So here after that we have a app. So in this app we have to create some user state like const weather data for the all the weather data coming from the API. So here we can write like weather set weather. So we can write like a small name also weather set weather, right? And then we can write const forecast set forecast, and here we are defining the type also weather data forecast data. The types we have defined in the weather.ts, right? And all this code we will get on my GitHub, so don't worry. Here we can define error if we get any error, right? Set error, and here we can define const is loading if our data is loading is coming in the progress. So for that we have written const is loading. So to track that we have created the use state, then const unit to track the unit. So initially it will be Celsius, right? And then we can write like last search city. So const last search city, set last search city. And here we can create another. So here a spelling mistake, const, and here we can create get unit param. So how we will get the unit? So for that we have created, we'll write selected unit equal to temperature unit, and this temperature unit coming from our weather.ts. There we have created Fahrenheit and the Celsius, right? And then here we can write like we can create selected unit equal to Celsius, so it will be metric otherwise imperial. So why I am writing metric and imperial, that I have already shown you. So metric, let me show you metric. So see here in the main.temp we have a Kelvin metric. Metric means Celsius, imperial means Fahrenheit. So for that we have written here the if it is Celsius means metric, imperial means Fahrenheit. So for that we have created this helper function to track our unit, right? Change the unit. So here you have a const fetch weather data, right? So here it will fetch the weather data, and it will be a async function. So it will not fetch data based on the only the city. Here we will first will write latitude, which we will be number, and then we can write longitude, which will be type number, and then we can write like selected unit, and it will be your type temperature unit. And then in this we'll write the try catch block, and here if you get any error it will set error to fail to fetch weather data. And here initially set is loading true, and set error will be null, right? Then we will write a const and unit param, and in this get unit param, so it will get the selected unit. From this get unit param we have passed the selected unit, right? If it is in Celsius it will fetch data according to the Celsius, otherwise it will fetch according to the Fahrenheit. So const, where we can write two things, one is forecast and one is the today, right? So for that we have to create two. So here we have to create two things like weather uh, response, and here forecast response. And then we have to create a, when we are using async we have to use await, right? So await promise dot all, and here we will pass an array, and then Axios, we'll use Axios to fetch, and we'll get use get method, so it will get the data. And for the Here we have API URL, right? API URL and API key. So API URL, and then we have to pass the weather. For the weather we have to pass weather. For the forecast we have to pass the forecast here, right? And after passing the weather, we'll add a question mark. So based on the latitude, if latitude equal to is a dollar sign, and in this we'll pass the latitude, and here we'll pass and longitude, and here also we will pass equal to and dollar sign curly braces longitude, then we'll pass unit. So why I'm passing these things? Because we have taken, we'll fetch the data longitude, longitude and the selected unit, right? So we will pass units equal to dollar open curly braces unit param, right? And then we'll raise and here we'll raise app id. So don't give space here, otherwise data will not be fetched. Here we can write API key. So based on API key it will fetch the data. So similarly we have to create for another, right? So we will copy this and we will paste it down. So Axios date instead of weather we can write forecast. Here we can write forecast, latitude, longitude and the unit params and the API key. So I'm not writing by myself, it is shown in the, here you can see that how the data is fetching open weather that map.org data 2.5, that is the base URL that will be common, right? Here we want to fetch the weather or the forecast, we have to pass, then we have passed the latitude, longitude and the API key, right? These three things we have passed. So I am taking the reference from the API, then I am writing this code. So go and must visit the API. So here we will set weather equal to weather response.data, and the forecast will add to the set forecast that we have created, set forecast and the set weather. So if any error will come, we will write in a beautiful way. So here we can write like set error failed to fetch weather data, then set weather null and forecast data will also be null. So we are using promise, right? So catch, try catch, and we have to use finally also. So finally the set loading will be false, then loading will also be false, right? Then after that, this is the based on the location we use longitude, latitude and unit param. So this function will call based on your location. So for the city we have to create a separate function to fetch the data by the city. So here we'll create another function fetch weather by city, will pass the city as a string and selected unit, right? This thing will be there, right? Unit, and then we have to pass, see the all data is recommending. So I'll just take it, and here you can see that in the try block, similarly we have set either null, set loading true. So initially it will load, after the data has been fetched then it will be set loading will be false. Then unit param, we are getting the unit param that we have taken in the like longitude based on the location. So for that we have created just before. So similarly we have app weather, and here instead of longitude latitude we have passed the city and we have passed the unit and this API key. So when you are fetching based on your location. So location takes two things, latitude, longitude, and that will be the type number, and based on your longitude and latitude it will fetch the weather data. But here we are fetching based on the city, so for that we have created another function, so it will fetch the data based on the city, and we have must pass the API key, right? And then it will set weather data and the forecast data and set last search. And after that, no need to write here last search city. So here just like similarly we have done before, set weather and set forecast data to this. And here in the error that we have written this, set error bell to fetch weather data, try again, weather null, forecast, and finally loading false, right? Then when we click on this icon, right, when we click on this icon, how it is fetching our location, right? So to get that, we create another function, const like handle location, and here we will create a arrow function. And in this, if navigator dot geolocation, like if no geolocation will be there, then it will show error, set error will be like geolocation is not supported by browser. So I set error is showing error. So after writing set condition here, if no geolocation will be supported, then it will show this error. So let me show you. So here, suppose I remove the permission from here. Let me open a new site instead of this, localhost 5173, and here it will ask you the location, but I will not allow. When I not allow, fail to get your location, please allow the location search by city. So this error will come, right? So similarly, no, then it will show geolocation is not supported by browser. So any custom error you can write here. Then after that we have to write set loading true, and here it's showing because we have not used the parenthesis, we have to use parenthesis instead of curly braces, right? So we can write set last search city will be null, and if navigator dot geolocation dot get current position, so it will get your current position, and it will take a parameter like position. We will pass a parameter position, and in this fetch weather data, and it will fetch from the position dot coordinate dot latitude and longitude, and will pass the unit. These three things, that longitude, latitude, that we have used here, fetch weather data we have created, right? So and here we pass in the API longitude, longitude, and unit, so that we pass three parameter. So these three parameter as a argument here we are passing, right? Before we pass the parameter, now here while the real data will fetch, then it is. And after this we have to, when you are using this, we have to clear, right? If any if you don't allow your location, so it will show error, right? If you will not allow, like fail to get your location, please allow location to search the city, and set loading will be false, right? Then we have to create another function So let me fix and format document. So we have to create another function to change the unit. So when you are clicking Celsius to Fahrenheit, it is changing, right? So how it is changing? So for that we have created another function. So I'll just show you. So handle unit change, will create and pass the unit. And if weather is there and if last search city is there, then fetch weather based on the unit, right? And if weather coordinates is there, so first for the last such city, and now for the based on the coordinate in your location, so it will show the unit based on your one of the preferred method, and both the method uses the different call, like fetch weather data and fetch weather data by city, right? And it will set the unit, right? So when I change to Celsius, when I change to Fahrenheit, it will go to the Fahrenheit unit, right? And then we will create another function handle search by city. So this will pass on our input box. So when input box here, when user will press, so it will show the data based on the city, right? And we will pass the location request. So on the use effect, so handle location request, and this handle location request, where is our handle location request? Here. So whenever user give his location, it will be search the based on the location. So when you change your location, that time it will call only once, so on the initial render. After that, all these things we have to write our JSX. So let's write our JSX. So in return, so here we will write our all JSX. So div, and here we'll write all the UI, like this forecast and all this data will be present. So create a div and another div. Let's start with the first div, and here we can write first search bar, right? And here on the search bar, when user will click on the search bar, right? So what should be happen on search? Handle search. So it will go to this function handle search, it will search the city, right? And another on the location request also, we can pass on location request, and we can pass each loading. So when we click on this, it will like it will load and it will search. And we can pass, so before that we can style this div like minimum height screen, and so it will be fully responsive for all the devices, and it will take the full height of any screen, and width full, padding x4 and padding y8. And then we can take like greater than medium devices, we can write p8, and flex call, and then item center, and then we can write bg gradient, right? Bg gradient to r, sorry, bottom right we can write, and from blue 500, from blue 500 to via right blue 400 to blue. So these are the simple CSS to style your. So here you can, so it is so error, so we'll fix it soon. So similarly we can style our another div. So class name flex call, then we can write a small devices flex row, then we can write item center, then we can write gap 4 and margin bottom will be 4, right? Then we can style this class like here we have to style this bottom one, and in the top div we have to write like width full max width 7x and mx auto, right? So similarly we have to write all these things. So if it is loading, so it will show your data is loading, right? So out of this div is loading, so it will show loading weather data like you cannot Patna. So a fraction of time it is so, but your fetching your backend is API is very fast, that's why it's coming so fast, right? And we have a setting also, so we have to pass the setting component here also. So here you will pass the setting component, we will pass the unit and the handle unit change. So here in the component we have built the setting, right? Here we pass the two parameter on unit and on unit change. So these two things, on unit change and unit. So this as a props we have passed, and what these things do, it will change the unit, right? And now if any error will be there, so for that we can write like if any error will be there, we'll show a paragraph tag with the animation with the error that we got. Then if we have any weather alerts, so if we have any weather alerts, so for that we can write if weather dot alerts, then we will map the data with the key as a index, and it will show the weather alert event description and start and end date. So all this data is coming from the this end start is coming from the here alerts event description start and end, right? So when you use TypeScript, it is very easy to make your application, right? And we will create another div, and in this div we will style and will pass the weather and the weather card. If it is a weather, then it will show a weather card, right? If it is a forecast data, it will show the forecast card, and we will pass like forecast and the unit. So like in the weather card, in our weather card we have passed to the data and the unit, right? So here also we pass data and the unit, right? Similarly we have passed all this as a props. If suppose if we don't have this, so we will uh, out of this div we can show like if not weather or not error and not loading, then it will show welcome to weather app, please allow location to search for a city. So let's set, and here you can say loading weather data, right? It is loading because we have not allow. So if you not allow this, will fail to get your location, please allow location to search by city, locations access or search by city, right? So after that, after creating our app.tsx, we will move on to forecast. So for now we will build the forecast.tsx. So we will import React from React, then we will import motion from framer motion, then we will import some icon and the types that we need, like forecast type that we define and the temperature unit, right? Then we have to define the props for our component, like interface forecast props, and in this we can define data and unit like we define in the weather card. So will be forecast or null. So we can write unit temperature unit. Then here we can write the types like react.fc. Then here we can write forecast props. Then after defining type we have to pass that props, right? So data comma unit, and then we will write all the helper function that we need, like we need like get day name. So in the forecast you can see the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. To get that day we will create a helper function. So get day name. In this we will pass the timestamp as a string, we'll pass timestamp as number because we'll get the timestamp in our weather API. Let me search time time zone. Where is our timestamp? In the forecast we have to see. So we'll go to API, and where is our forecast? So 4 days forecast and all. So daily 16 days. Let's go for 4 days. So here it will be timestamp. See timestamp. So let's go for, so a number of timestamp in the response. So it is a type number of, right? So that's why I define the timestamp type number. Then after that we have to return new date based on the timestamp. Like timestamp, it will create a new date object, then we convert to the local date string, then will be in the format of English US, and weekday equal to long. So that's why it will give the data in the Sunday, Monday or other response. So here it is showing error. So when you write type it will be fixed. So we'll solve that small things later on. But when we are here we have a get weather icon, right? Sun, cloud and all. So in the previous we have created weather card. Here we have passed the get weather icon, right? So we can copy this get weather icon similarly, and we can paste it in our forecast so that we can use it again, right? Otherwise we can create a separate component and you can fix it out. So here clear, sun, slow, thunderstorm, drizzle and lightning, all these things we have written here. Then here, like in the weather card, we have written the get unit symbol speed unit, right? So similarly we can create for that also. So get unit symbol, pass the unit. If it is Celsius, it will show the this uh, degree Celsius and the Fahrenheit, right? Otherwise if it is Celsius, it will show the wind in the kilometer per hour, otherwise miles per hour, right? Then we have to create a daily forecast list. So a group of forecast data by day and the middle entry for each day. So to create that, we'll create another function like get daily forecast, and in this forecast we can pass the const daily data, and in daily data uh, we can write the type like key as a string, and we can write type of data dot list 0. So initially suppose we have a data is a type array of, so it will give an array of data, right? For all this 1 2 3 4 5 cards, right? Then after that we have to create a const tomorrow, and in this we have to pass the new data object for the tomorrow, and after that we like tomorrow dot set hours, and in this we will pass 0 comma 0 comma 0 comma 0. Then we'll pass the set date, so tomorrow get date plus 1, and const tomorrow timestamp will be tomorrow get time by 1000. So and here you can use method floor, so it will be in a proper way. So then we can group the forecast by day. So initially data dot list with a 0 array, so now data dot list, and then we can map over all this for each and each item. Then in this we'll write if item dot dt greater than tomorrow's timestamp, then dot dt greater than tomorrow timestamp, then we can write const day equal to new date, and item dt to local string, just we can pass the curly braces as empty, and if not delete data, so it will be, you can write empty array. If it will be not there daily data, so it will be empty, else we can write daily data dot push item. So I think we have made the curly braces, so we will fix this. Where is it? Yeah, so I think now it is fixed. Why it is showing error? Let me, I have written already code for this function. Let me copy that and fix it. Daily forecast. Okay, then const daily forecast equal to get daily forecast. So this function will get the daily forecast data, right? And here it will return an object with the daily data, and it will map over each data, right? And it will slice the first, the second to 0 to 5, right? We need five cards, right? Then we can create a motion.d. So let's create a motion.d. motion.d, and in this motion.d we can create a h3 tag, right? And we can, so here we can create a h3 tag that will show the 5-day forecast, right? And then we have to create a div, and in that div I'll just copy and paste and show you what I have written. So in this div I have styled some grid call for the small devices and all for the responsiveness of this. Then if daily forecast, the data will come here, we have stored in this const variable. Then we have to map over each data with the forecast.dt is the unique key. So let's search dt. So this is the unique id, right? So here you will get the daily forecast data. So here this is the second dt, so second day data. Then similarly we have another day forecast data, right? So this is a unique key, so that's why we have used this. Then we have added some animation and the style, and then here we have used a get date name and forecast.dt based on when we get the this number, right? So this is the number that convert that timestamp, and in the get day name we can convert that timestamp to day name like Sunday and Monday and all these things, and get icon based on the, here in the main we have like where it is. So let's scroll it down. So rain, here is where rain, so based on that it will show the icon. So get weather icon, it will take this case rain and it will show this icon. So all these are the simple javascript and the use of map object and array. And after that we have to map all this droplet with the humidity, and then we have to get the wind speed forecast.wind.speed and all these things. So let's fix the issue. So in our app.tsx we have some issue weather data forecast data temperature in it. So we have some type issue. Let me fix this. Can rename the settings. So forecast wait weather API key, wait weather API key. copy this port meta.env beat weather API. Let's see. Yeah, now it's working totally fine. So you can see that, and I'll show you the code first. So here we have a components forecast. So this is the code that I will scroll and show you. You can pause and fix. You will get all this source code on my GitHub. So here is the unit weather card, then the weather types, and here is the app.tsx. So after writing all this code you will get this. So here you can try. So it's showing the all the data, and it is fully responsive. So we are made responsive for smaller devices also. So this is it. So hope you guys like the video, subscribe the channel, and don't forget to share with your friends. So thanks for watching. We'll meet in next video with a new amazing project.